What's up, everybody? My name is Aiden Anderson. I'm 15 years old, creator of this website. I'm going to show you, creator of the app. I'm going to show you how to throw a flop shot. So first what you're going to do is you're going to start off with your grip. Grip's the most important thing. That's what gets the bag. Or when you throw it, it's coming in the air, not like this, because it does not going to flop it off. But it's coming in the air like this. So when it flops, it hits at this angle and it tumbles over. And the reason it's better than an airmail is because when you throw airmails, you shoot it, if you hit right here, it's off. You hit right here, unless it catches that lip somehow, it's off. The flop shot, it'll stay on unless you throw it really hard. And sometimes that still happens, but I'm still trying to get past that stage. But if you throw it just right, it should never go off. And it should always end up in like this area. Most of the time, obviously, you want it to go here. But say there's your two opponents' bags. The other thing is it'll leave those bags there instead of with the airmail, you could drag them both and they both fall in. If it's like this, flop shot could leave those bags there. So yeah, we're gonna start with the grip. So with the grip, people call it the butterfly. So what you do is you want to start with the bag, and I always, every time I throw, no matter what, I always have this seam. I always put it in my hand. So you want this bag to be right around this knuckle right here. So when you go, I always kind of drop it right there, move it around a little bit, and then kind of pinch. But you don't want to pinch too hard because then you lose all your control trying to squeeze it so hard. You're gonna be loose with it, like a golf swing. You're not trying to swing. Whenever you swing as hard as you can, most of the time you don't hit it the way you want to. But when you just swing nice and controlled, it goes just as far. So once again, seam right in this knuckle, or back of the knuckle, I don't know what you call that. And you pinch it, and normally I'd pinch it around maybe this Viking area, and obviously unless you're throwing a Viking, all your bags aren't gonna say Viking, but around, so say this is a bag, around 7/8 of the way up. So you grab it and you just pinch it down. You just move it around a little bit to get this kind of thing happening. And you'll see it more whenever I throw. But whenever you throw this shot, we'll say this is 0 degrees. So this plane where my knuckle is right here, 0 degrees, 45, 90, 135, 180. So when you're throwing a flop shot, you want to start from, this is for me, you kind of have to play around with it to see what fits you best. But I always start from, let's say, 0 degrees, and when I throw, I turn it to like 135, so that wrist is pushing up and like dragging everything else. And then you want to make sure you want to control your pinky, so because when you push your pinky out like that, it gets this corner up, and it gets where your bag comes out like this instead of coming out flat or but you also want to make sure before you start you have a flat bag. So if you don't have a flat bag, I'm going to post how to throw a flat bag. But if you do have a flat bag, then you're on the right place if you want to learn a flop shot. So you want to push out with that pinky, and that creates that tilt. So whenever it hits, it's coming through the air like this. So whenever it hits, boom, flops over. And I actually hold my normal shot like this too. So I hold it the exact same way, which most people don't when they throw a flop shot, but I do because I feel like it's more consistent. I just rotate my wrist different ways. So on a normal shot, I go from maybe here to maybe 90, maybe in between 45 and 90 in that general direction or area. Because then whenever I don't spin it as hard, it comes in flat still. It doesn't flop over. But like I said, when you go 135, push that wrist up and it's coming in like that. So I'll show you how to do it, what it looks like when it's coming out. And another thing I forgot to mention is bags. When starting out flopping, you want to start with definitely like a slower and a floppier bag. So personally, I recommend Viking. That's what I started out with, BG Viking. There's a link to a bunch of those bags. When you press Find My Bag on the app, it'll take you to those. Definitely Viking, Mercenaries, those are a little bit slower, a little bit faster than these. I can flop. I have a set in there that are new. They're still a little bit fast because they're newer, but I mean, they still flop just as much, if not more. Samurais, so these bags are like shapeshifters. They're not really built to flop, but they're stickier, so they still do. I can still get them to flop, but I wouldn't recommend this as your first starting flop shot bag. So, and Vikings are on the, they used to be really expensive, but they've definitely gone down a lot in price, so I'd recommend going on maybe Addicted to Cornhole if you're looking for like a used cheap set that you don't want to spend a lot of money to try flopping. Or like I said, I mean, it's 85 to 90 bucks on the app to find a set, so I'd recommend either of those to find your first bag. I'm going to get this set up. It's gonna be hard with those block bags right there. It stays on the board. Even if you miss, it stays on the board, which is a good thing about it. Went over it, but it's still staying on the board. It goes low. The worst case scenario, you don't have a good blocking bag, or it goes over and you stay on the board. If you're, you know. When you're starting off, you may throw short a lot, and that happened to me too. You just gotta keep on going. Don't let that discourage you. And then eventually you may get the distance down, you're throwing it left or right, overspinning it. That happens to me too. Like I said, just keep on throwing it, it'll work. I've been throwing this for the flop shot for maybe a year now, and I'm still trying to get a hang of it. So definitely one of the hardest shots in the game. And when you set up these bags, that's the easiest way to practice, is if you get an extra set and you put these bags maybe 2 or 3 inches in front of the hole. You want to leave maybe that much of a gap right there, and you just set these bags up side by side so that whenever you throw it, if it's like this, it's going to be really hard to make that. Like, it's possible without dragging it, but for beginners it's going to be a lot harder the best way to start is 2 like that, just flopping over it. And if you push a little bit closer, it's not a big deal. Just keep on going, and then when you go to start throwing back there, you set it up again so that when you throw it down and come back, it's already set up and ready for you. See, like that. I'm not moving their bag without you moving yours. Or other way around. And when you have this flop shot, the biggest part of the flop shot is being able to throw a consistent block every single time. First bag, you throw it right there. Either right there or like right here. Because that gives them room where they have to think, okay, well, do I want to try to throw a blocker bag and put it right there? Do I want to go for the airmail? And say they're an amazing airmailer. Even an amazing airmailer is going to miss more than they would miss if it was just a normal slide shot up the middle. So I always try to make people airmail, even if I know that that's their game is airmailing. It's just they're going to miss. Yeah, okay, they're going to hit maybe an airmail or 2 airmails every single round on me. But if I throw that, I throw my flop shot, I'm going to make at least 2, 1 or 2 two pretty much minimum. But worst case scenario, even if I do get one, then all my bags stay in the hole. And say they hit 2 airmails, but I have my bag here. So say they hit 2 airmails, I throw 1 flop shot, only 1 goes in. Then I have my other 2 bags stay on the board and it's a wash. And then if they decide to throw a blocker bag, then they're playing in your territory. You're making them play your game because you can just go and flop over it. And if this bag's still available on that last bag, you can clean up. But it's all that's all cornhole is making people play your game. You don't ever want to play anybody else's game. Thank you for watching, and if you want to see some other videos, how to do other shots, there's not really many other shots that really need showing in cornhole. This is pretty much the only shot that's like, you have to change your throw completely. Most people have to change their throw completely in order to throw the shot. So that's how you throw a flop shot. Like I said, just repetitiveness, practice. Get yourself a sticky bag if you don't already have one. And peace out.